We have now discussed everything leading up to closing day. On closing day, you will sign your legal papers, pay any closing day fees, and get the keys to your new home. There's an array of fees you can expect to pay on closing day. These fees are specific to your mortgage and should be discussed in the closing disclosure 3 days prior to closing. Typically, these fees can add up to 6% of the purchase price of your home. Today, we're going to get into some of the most common closing day fees, and since every situation is unique, there will also be a downloadable attached with other fees that may be required. Let's get into it. First things first, we have property-related fees. One property-related fee is the appraisal fee. As we discussed in the last lesson, an appraiser will come to the property to determine the true value of the home. As a buyer, you'll be required to pay for this service. It's important to be aware that this service can range in price. The next property-related fee are escrow fees. So what is an escrow? This can be quite a confusing concept, but think of it as this third party that holds money and assets until the people in the transaction meet certain requirements and conditions. So in terms of home ownership, the buyer may be required to pay certain taxes and mortgage insurance. This is due one time a year, but this is a large sum of money. So instead of the borrower paying this large sum of money once a year, they may just include it in their monthly mortgage payments, and from there, it will be taken out of the monthly mortgage payment and put into an escrow account. When the taxes and insurance are due, it will be taken from the escrow account that has been holding it throughout the year to be paid. All of this is to say that part of these escrow payments may be required to be paid at the closing table, so it's important to know this ahead of time. Another fee that may be required to be paid at closing is the flood certification. If the house is in an area that commonly experiences heavy rain or flooding, they may be required to get a flood certification. Next, we have property taxes. As a homebuyer, you will be required to pay the city and the county certain taxes for owning a home. This will start at the date of closing and continue throughout the year, but you may be required to pay part of this at the closing table. Moving on, we are going to discuss some typical loan-related costs that may be seen at the closing table. The first one is the lender fee. Lender fees are paid to the mortgage lenders for their service. Similar to paying a realtor for finding a home for you, you'll pay the lender for providing the mortgage loan. Typical lender fees could be an origination fee, processing fee, and underwriting fee. Next, we have an application fee. This is the fee you pay to submit an application for a mortgage loan. This is typically non-refundable, so even if you don't get approved for the loan, you still have to pay the fee. Finally, you have the title search fee. This is a fee for the title company to research the property in hand to make sure there are no liens against the home. There are some other insurance-related costs to be aware of on closing day. One is the homeowner's insurance. This is insurance to protect your home and you in case of any damage. Some lenders will require this to be paid at closing day. You also may be required to pay FHA, VA, or USDA fees. Unlike the common conventional loan, if you have a government-backed loan, there will be fees required to be paid at closing. As all loans differ, it's important to look into what fees you're expected to pay. There you go. Those are some common fees to be aware of on closing day. Remember, these fees can add up to 3 to 6% of the purchase price of your home and should be outlined in the closing disclosure. In the next lesson, we're going to tackle exactly what to expect on closing day.